Today we will learn about human health and diseases, that is chapter 8. To start with the lesson, what is health? State of mental, physical and social well-being is said to be health. So if an individual is mentally, physically, socially, emotionally in a good state, then we will say that that particular individual is in good health. Now, what are the factors that affect our health? The immune system. Immune system is responsible for protecting our body. The immune system is responsible for protecting our body against the infections, against the pathogens that we encounter. They act as soldiers, defense system of the body. But for the immune system to be active, to be healthy, it is through our endocrine system and through the neural system. If we are mentally healthy, if we are mentally stable, if we are socially stable, if we are emotionally stable, then the neural signals and accordingly the hormones released will be functioning properly. Consequently, immune system also will be functioning properly. Otherwise, if we are in unhealthy mental state, unhealthy emotional, social state of mind, then the immune system will be hampered due to wrong signaling or mismatch signaling, due to which ultimately the physical health will be deteriorated. Some genetic disorders which we are born with. Now, the genes are the ultimate expression of an individual. So the genes, whatever our genes we have, whatever we have inherited from our parents, from our ancestors, if some defective gene has been inherited by an individual, then its effect will definitely be seen in the person, which might be in terms of some physical impairment in the body. So those we call as genetic disorders. So genes are also responsible for our health. Infections. We are always prone to infections in the environment around us. We have a lot of infectious germs, so through which we encounter, and they might infect and cause different types of diseases. Lifestyles. The lifestyle that we adopt, the occupation in which we are, that can also be responsible for our health. If we have a very sedentary lifestyle where mobility is restricted, under that circumstance, the physical health may be impaired because of less of physical activities. Personal hygiene and regular exercises. This is very important to maintain a good health. If we are not hygienic, then we are more prone to infections, and if we are not into regular exercises, that means our lifestyle is such which does not include regular exercise in our daily routine, then definitely it will lead to disorders in the different organs of our body. Then diet is one important factor affecting the health. A good diet is required to maintain a healthy immune system of our body. What is disease? Next we come to disease. If we are any of these conditions may lead to a malfunctioning of the organs, which we name as disease. Diseases can be of two types, infectious and non-infectious. Infectious diseases are the ones which get transmitted from one individual to another through certain media like air, water, food, different contact, and non-infectious are the ones which are not transmitted from one individual to another. Genetic disorders can be considered as non-infectious because it does not of course it passes on through genes, but then otherwise it will not pass from randomly from one individual to another individual. Example, genetic disorders, cancer, diabetes, these can be some of the non-infectious diseases. Infectious diseases can be malaria, typhoid, dysentery, diphtheria. These are some of the examples of infectious diseases. Now let us learn a little more about infectious diseases. Before that, the same thing: health, physical, mental, social well-being, factors affecting health. The main ones are genetic factor, lifestyle, infections, then types of diseases: infectious, non-infectious, then transmitted by the infectious ones: air, water, physical contact, animals. Non-infectious, the cause can be stress, less physical activity, that is lifestyle. This lifestyle may lead to non-infectious diseases. Unsuitable diet, exposure to carcinogens causes cancer like diseases. Then some of the types, which can be either viral infectious diseases, virus caused by viruses, caused by bacteria or fungi or worms or protozoa. Now here, control measures will be mainly to monitor our lifestyle. If we can monitor our lifestyle, we have a healthy lifestyle, then definitely non-infectious diseases can be managed. Then control measures for infectious diseases are, of course, maintaining a balanced diet, which will definitely improve our immune system, to have a good personal hygiene whereby we will be very less exposed to infections. Then we know about the diseases, taking vaccinations, timely vaccinations, hygienic food and water, not going for unhygienic food items are some of the measures we can take to control infectious diseases. Now, a few of the diseases, mainly infectious diseases, which we have to learn are typhoid, which the causal organism is a bacteria Salmonella typhi. Symptoms are sustained high fever, weakness, stomach pain. These are some of the effects, and it mainly symptoms, and it mainly affects the small intestine, and then gradually it gets transmitted to different organs of our body. Pneumonia, second type of bacterial disease caused by Streptococcus pneumonia, as also by Haemophilus influenza. So inside our body, if somehow it enters through mainly aerosols, air, then it causes, the symptoms are fever, chills, cough, headache. What happens? The alveoli in our lungs, they get filled with fluid, due to which exchange of gases does not take place, and ultimately results in deficiency of oxygen in the body or accumulation of carbon dioxide in the body. So that leads to respiratory disorders. Common cold, a type of viral disease caused by rhinoviruses. Symptoms are mainly nasal congestion, discharge, sore throat, cough, and headache, which of course almost every other person must have suffered or they suffer. It infects the nose and respiratory passages. Malaria caused by Plasmodium. Three species of Plasmodium are responsible: Vivax, Malaria, and Falciparum. Now, the symptoms are chill and high fever recurring 3 to 4 days. After an interval of few hours, there's chill, fever rises, the high temperature, and again severe sweating will lead to subsiding of the fever. Then the effects, what happens in the liver cells, the parasites multiply and attacks the RBCs. Amoebiasis, Entamoeba histolytica, is the causal organism, which is a type of protozoa. Again, symptoms: constipation, abdominal pain, cramps, stools, and mucus and blood clot. Infects the large intestine. The spread is through contaminated food. Ascariasis, caused by Ascaris, which is the round worm. The symptoms are internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia, etc. Now the infection can pass on from one individual to another, or through water, through vegetables, etc., through the soil, where the cyst of the ascaris may remain. Cyst of the ascaris may remain, and if it somehow enters into the human, there it will grow and start growing as a parasite. Elephantiasis or filariasis, which is caused by Wucheria or filarial worm. The spread is through mosquito. Wucheria or filarial worm spread is through mosquito. Due to mosquito bite, a person may get the germ inside his or her body, In this, the lymphatic system is mainly affected, which leads to inflammation in the lower limb and genital organs. Ringworm, it's a type of skin disorder caused by fungi, Mycosporum, Trichophyton, and Epidermophyton. This is a fungus infection. Fungal infection is somehow the spores can get transmitted from one person to another through the medium of clothing, combs, sharing of some dress materials, clothing, any sort of clothing, beddings, or etc. Then there is a spread of this disease. The symptoms are appearance of dry, scaly lesions on various parts of the body. Very itchy lesions appear. It infects the skin, nail, scalp is affected. Mainly, it's a type of skin infection, epithelial tissue infection. So these are some of the diseases of that infectious diseases that affect humans. Now we have to learn a little more into details about Plasmodium, the causal organism of malaria. Now, as you all know, the spread of malaria is through mosquitoes, female Anopheles mosquito. Now, the Plasmodium, Protozoa Plasmodium, it is actually a parasite which needs two hosts, humans as well as mosquito. So what happens in order to complete its life cycle? Now this part is in the body of mosquito and the other half is in the body of humans. Now what happens? The salivary glands of mosquito are laden with sporozoids, which are spores produced by the mosquito. They remain in the salivary glands, these sporozoids. These are diploid cells of the organism. Now, whenever a mosquito bites a human, in order to suck blood, it transmits the saliva, through the saliva, it transmits the sporozoids into the body of the human. The parasite enters into the blood. These sporozoids, they've entered into the blood of the human, and then it reaches the liver. In the liver, it will multiply. It will multiply asexually in the liver cells, bursting the cells and releasing into blood. So what will happen? The sporozoids which have reached the liver, they will start multiplying. They will start dividing mitotically. So once they divide mitotically, what will happen? The numbers will increase. Now some of the cells will break open, releasing the asexual spores. These asexual spores will then reach up to the RBCs. Again, they will infect the RBCs. In the RBCs also, they will multiply. They will reproduce asexually in the RBCs, again bursting the cells. This time, mitosis, so mitotic divisions. Now, while the RBCs burst open, they also release a chemical called hemozoin. The hemozoin release, the chemical will cause chills in the person as also temperature rise, that is, it will cause fever. The symptoms of malaria will appear only when there is bursting of the RBCs. There is a release of hemozoin. So once the hemozoin release, after some time what will happen? It will subside. It will subside, the hemozoin will break down and the fever subsides. Again, the next cycle of RBCs, they break. Again, the next lot of RBCs break. Again, the symptoms appear. So it keeps on appearing for 2 to 3 days at an interval of 3 to 4 hours. Now, within the RBCs itself, the asexual spores will undergo meiosis to form the gametes, to form the gametocytes or the gametes. Some of them, they will undergo meiosis to form the gametes. The gametes will be released in the RBCs or within the RBCs, or they will be released out again to grow upon other RBCs. It will remain in the blood as it is, till the time another mosquito bites the human and sucks blood. When it is biting the human and sucking blood, what does it get? It gets the gametocytes into its body. The gametes have entered into the body of the mosquito and it reaches up to the small intestine. Where? In the stomach and small intestine. There, inside the body alimentary system of the mosquito, fertilization occurs. Fertilization occurs, that is, fusion of the gametes occur, and a diploid cell is produced. That diploid cell then moves into the salivary glands to modify and become the sporozoites. So now again the sporozoites are ready, the mosquito is ready with the sporozoites to infect another person. So this way the life cycle continues of this plasmodium. But if at any point of time, if suppose this particular mosquito is unable or is not getting a host to bite, then its life cycle will be discontinued. It will not continue with the life cycle. Likewise, if the infected person is not bitten by a mosquito, then the life cycle will end here itself. So, summing up, Plasmodium, the causal organism of malaria, which is a protozoan, needs two hosts to survive. One is mosquito and the other is humans. In humans, mainly the asexual phase continues, and in the mosquitoes, the sexual phase takes place. So that is all about the infectious diseases that we had to learn. Now, next lecture, we will move to immune system or the immunity, innate and acquired immunity. Thank you.